Here's what happened during the 2024 Monte Carlo Masters. Day 1, American Taylor Fritz and Alexander Bublik both lost in straight sets, with Korik taking down Alexander 6-1, 6-1. Fritz continues a recent difficult stretch, losing 6-4, 6-4 against a solid clay player of Musetti. Sebastian Baez also lost his match, which lasted 2 hours and 23 minutes, to German Struck 6-1, 7-6, 6-2. Day 2, last year's quarterfinalist Stefanos Tsitsipas won his match 6-3, 6-2. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Popyrin and Ugo Humbert all won today. Miami Open finalist / runner-up Dimitrov overcame wildcard Monegasque Valentin in straight sets. Dimitrov had a shaky start in the first set, but was able to accustom late and overcome the hometown man 7-5, 6-2. On to day 3, which began with a weather delay. Serbian fans will be pleased to hear that Djokovic won his game today with relative ease. This is Novak Djokovic's first match since his defeat at Indian Wells earlier this year in disappointing fashion. Djokovic will be hoping to get back on track as Italian Jannik Sinner looks to close him down in the standings. Wildcard Stan Wawrinka lost to Alex de Minaur 6-3, 6-love. Wawrinka looked to struggle severely in the conditions, falling short massively. A man who loves this tournament, Zverev, took down his opponent with a strong showing 6-3, 6-4. Similar to Wawrinka, wildcard Berrettini also had a difficult time on the courts, losing his game in similar fashion. Monfils won his match in exciting form. The Frenchman won in 3 sets, coming back down on multiple points to win 6-7, 6-3, 7-5. Medvedev took down Monfils, but it wasn't without headlines as Medvedev had heated arguments twice with the chair umpire over calls before taking the win 6-2, 6-4. Australian Popyrin was a winner against Rublev 6-4, 6-4, and Casper Ruud also advanced. Day 5, both Djokovic and Sinner won their matches in straight sets. Medvedev once again had a meltdown mid-game on his way to a loss. Stefanos won against Zverev in straight sets. However, on the final set, Tsitsipas had the opportunity to win the set 6-love before Zverev turned things around, winning 5 consecutive matches and forcing a tiebreaker, where the Greek was able to finally put him away in a longer process that was needed. Holger Rune bested Dimitrov in a thrilling match that contained 2 tiebreakers. Casper Ruud and Alex de Minaur also won their matches respectively. To the quarterfinals now, where Djokovic bested Alex de Minaur, and simultaneously so did Ruud, setting up their semi-final matchup. On the other side of the bracket, Sinner won his match against Rune in 3 sets. The match was a fairly even contest. However, Sinner just looked the better man, with that net game looking solid and sturdy, even after a few missed points. Tsitsipas won his match in straightforward fashion, setting us up for the semi-finals. Semi-finals now, starting off with Ruud vs Djokovic. Ruud looked the better of the two off the line, with him playing aggressively and really attacking at the net at every opportunity, pressuring Djokovic and making use of his athletic advantage at this point in his career compared to Novak. However, the Serbian knows how to play, and he countered Ruud's moves by playing deep, ascending Ruud and forcing him behind the line or even off the court. Casper looked uncomfortable in this situation, and on multiple occasions attempted to force net play, which Djokovic gladly countered with a lob, sending him back once again deep, just as Novak wanted. With the game looking in Novak's favour going to the deciding set, it was Ruud who broke the Serbian, forcing longer rallies behind the line, really settling into the game nicely and welcoming the long balls more. Novak, sensing a need to change his game plan, began forcing shorter rallies, moving in more aggressively and finishing, almost flipping the switch on the game. It worked, and Novak won the next 3 games, tying the game 4-4 before Ruud put it away, looking better physically towards the end.
Well, I mean, I'm used to really high standard in terms of expectations of the results. So not having a title is maybe comparing to the last 15 years not a great season at all. But you know, I had semis of Australia, semis here, so I only played 3 tournaments this year. So of course, you know, it's normal to expect that you have some seasons where you don't start well, and this is the one. So hopefully, yeah, I can pick up in terms of results, and I can build from here because, you know, I played some good tennis. So hopefully in the next tournaments I'll be able to play even better.
Were you affected by the booze when they expelled the guy before the last game, or how can we explain your bad beginning of this game because you're such a
I don't know. No, I was not. You know.
Semi-final number 2, Sinner vs Tsitsipas, where both players began the game looking willing to run around the court, not worrying much about conservation. Sinner seemed to try to force the Greek's backhand into errors, like he did in Miami against Dimitrov, but Tsitsipas was having none of it, looking extremely affirmative on the one-handed backhand, winning the first set 6-4. Second set, Sinner started strong, keeping Tsitsipas on the move, not allowing him to set his feet as he usually would, especially on the backhand. The forehand was Sinner's best friend in the set, really cracking some great winners past Tsitsipas. To the deciding set, Sinner continued his form, carrying the momentum and same game style into the set. Stefanos bounced back, however, hitting cleanly and tidying up his game. Ultimately, it was a win for the Greek, who played a good game compared to his normal performance, showing that these top players can beat each other on their days. This led to Sinner's second defeat of the year. However, I do have to say, Sinner is playing great, and although he is not considered a favourite going into Roland Garros, he does look to be a player that can make a deep run, showing improvement on his end and can look deadly going into the tail end of the year. This then set up the final of the 2024 Monte Carlo Masters of Casper Ruud and Stefanos Tsitsipas. Now to the championship game, which took place with perfect conditions on centre court. Starting off the match, Tsitsipas came out aggressively, rushing to the net to finish the point, giving him a 2-1 lead to start off the match. More of the same aggression was shown by Tsitsipas in the next games, as Ruud seemed unable to find a solution to the Greek. Tsitsipas capitalized, taking a 5-1 lead early and subsequently winning the set 6-1. To the second set, where Stefanos carried the same momentum and plan. For Ruud, it would have been nice to see him slow down the match, but he seemed to play into it, playing faster than before, which led to the Greek being more comfortable, even if the set was closer. In the end, there was really nothing Casper could do. He was simply outplayed by a player who usually enjoys the clay, especially Monte Carlos. For Ruud, it seemed he was too complacent to change his strategy. Previous opponent of Tsitsipas in the tournament, Sinner, to hitting deeper balls with more variety to keep Stefanos from coming in and from setting his feet, especially on the one-handed backhand.
You need a week like this week?
A lot. I did need a week like this a lot, especially the rough months that I've been through the last half of 2023 until now. It hasn't been the best of times in terms of where I wanted to be, so getting back here and working with the title is something that I was definitely not aiming for, and it came naturally. Winning this tournament 3 times is something I would have never imagined, even when I first got it the first time. I obviously thought it was a great feeling, and that place is special towards me. But getting the Holy Trinity, as I call it, is something that I will fully cherish it and take the most out of this moment.
This win for the Greek moves him up to 7th, only 25 points behind the man he beat today, and 75 points ahead of Andrei Rublev, who subsequently drops down 2 positions. Consider subscribing for more tennis ATP videos like this. A similar recap of the Miami Open Masters is available right here. Comment below what you thought of the tournament, and I'll see you for the Barcelona Open recap. Thank you.